Alright. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. Do you see that? Do you see this? It's like a fan. But if you actually do this, this is very dangerous. Guys, welcome back. Today we're building the Ferris wheel with DIY STEM projects. So we have our parts right here. Of course, you have to have your own kits. They will give you with the kit some tools, but I advise that you get your own kit. Why? Because these basically make your life easy. They're easy to hold and use. So quickly, let me identify these parts to you. You will also get, by the way, the manual. I try my best not to look at it, so the challenge is to build it without looking at the manual, but I set it aside. Sometimes I take a peek here and there. I just don't want to, make a step and then have to go back and redo everything again. First, we have the battery holder, as always. You have to have that with it, right? Sticking out of it, of course, you have the two wires, the black and the red. And they kind of have peeled. We have our board, the pink board, right? That comes sometimes with it's green with the kit, sometimes it's pink. Doesn't really matter. We have this long rod, and then we have these wheels, or we call them sometimes, some people call them the wheels, some people call them the gears, but I don't think these are the gears because they don't have the teeth in there. So these are basically the wheels, right? And whenever we have these wheels and we have these inside grooves, right? Of course, you're gonna have with it the rubber bands. Do not try to use your own rubber bands. These are made specifically for these ones, for these types of grooves. So I'm gonna set aside, let me organize my kit first. So the best way to get the successful invention is to set aside your stuff. So I'm gonna set up my wheels right here, and then we have this. Basically, this is called the turnable, right? Or it's basically spins. So this is what is gonna make the entire first wheel spin. And then we have these brackets. We have these angle brackets. Before we use them, but they were made out of metal. Now they're made out of plastic. I'm gonna set these aside as well. And then we have right here these blocks. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 blocks. Right, I'm gonna set these aside. It's really good to organize your stuff, guys. The reason for that is because when you need them, when it's time to do their step, you know how many you have left, and which size you need. Sometimes they come in different sizes. And then we have these shafts. We have two short ones. And we have one that is long, so or medium sized, but this is the longest of them. I'm gonna set my shafts here. Of course, as usual, we have the engine or the motor, right? And then we have the bracket for it, or the one that holds it in place. We're gonna see how that holds it in place. And then we have 3 rubber bands. We're gonna set them aside, right? And we have our nails. So now, before you even start to work, open up your nails, get them on the side, because they have with them different sized nails and different sized what do you call them, space holders or pushers. So we have these nails. I'm gonna actually have to separate them quickly. So we have these long nails, they have to come aside. Reason being is because if I use different size nail in a place, it might work, but then I'm gonna miss it in a different place, so I won't be able to finish my invention well. We have this new looking thing. I don't know what this is called, but I can say we're gonna find out what it's called later on. But it's one of the bushings, right? And I can see the groove in there, and that groove means it might have the rubber band going with it, you know, to help it rotate. Okay, so we have rotate. By the way, guys, the word rotate means to go in circles or to go around, right? It's a physical science term. So we have these flathead screws, screw nails, and we're gonna just set them aside as well. We have a lot of the pushers. We're gonna put them here. We have different size ones, so we're gonna leave this here. All right, let's get started, guys. First, we get this board right here, right? And then you get, I forgot to tell you also, we have this. This is called the socket, basically. I just did cheat. Look at the manual. I cheated, by the way. So this is called the socket. We place this socket because we're gonna place this rod on top of it. So you don't want to place it like that. This is the bottom part. So you want to make sure that you place it where you'll be easily able to stick this in it. You can see that I'm not able to stick it here. So it looks like it will stick here, right, like that. So I'm gonna nail it in the board, right, from the side. So you pick where you want to nail it, but as the manual suggests, it goes right under the first hole. This could be your first hole, this could be the first hole, this could be the first one. It really doesn't matter, right? Let me just zoom in for you a bit. Alright, I'm gonna go right under this hole. If you go like this, it's also completely fine. It doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna go anywhere. You know what? Let me go right here for you. So I'm gonna go to the first hole. I'm gonna go the first hole right underneath the this big gap. I'm gonna put it there, and then I'm gonna get, as you can tell, we're gonna use the small holes, the small nails. I'm gonna nail them in. Right, get 2 small nails. The one that they all have, by the way, flat heads. Put them in, and start to nail them. All right. They're very easy to get nailed in, by the way. So just don't go too hard, guys, on the kit. As I told you before, everything here is plastic. You don't have to go hard, because if you do go hard, what happens is you're gonna lose your part. It will just break it apart for you. Then we have the next part. I'm gonna nail that in. Alright, now once you nail it in, and you make sure that it's in and it's not really moving much, you are able to put this long rod in. Don't go too hard, just press it once, it will go in nicely like that. Right, it's not coming off at all, you can tell. Once you have that in, guys, you want to put it in from the side with the closed holes, right, sticking out. So you can tell this is the outer part, right? So the side with the closed holes are the one that's supposed to be sticking out. What does that mean? When you get this big rod, you're gonna have sides that have closed and open holes, and only open holes in this side. These are all open. These ones are closed and open. Some of them are closed, some of them are open. You wanna keep the one with the on and off, the one that are open and closed, towards the outside part, so it's pointing out. This is an important part, guys, of the experiment, because you don't want to build the whole thing and then take it apart so that you can switch where this goes, right? That would be kind of annoying. So now the next part is to basically insert the shafts into the pulley and install the bushings. So I'm going to put this aside for now, just 1 second. I'm going to take now my three wheels. I'm going to get my shafts, right? Please pay attention to this step, because you have different shaft sizes. We're going to put the short shaft here for the blue one, and then the short shaft for the yellow one, right? But then the long shaft goes with the green one, right? And we're gonna need 3 pushings, regular sized ones, right? So first thing you do is you put the pushing here, like that. I'm gonna use the table to push it in, or you can use something like I use the bottom of my screwdriver because it's kind of flat, so I use that to push it in. You can do that as well. If you have a little hammer, that's fine. Once it goes in, you don't have to do much more work. Once it goes in, just put in the pushings now. That's the first one. Second one, we said we're gonna put the long one with the green, the long shaft with the green. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. But it's good to keep a system from the beginning, so you know which one have the long one, which one has the small one. I'm gonna have to use a table, to be honest with you, because I don't want to keep on banging. It makes a loud noise. Just be careful. Once you get it in, flip it, put your own pushing in there. We call that pushing because it pushes in, right? And we have the third one. Right, guys, align it. Once you align it, I was about to push it with my own finger, and that really hurts. Once you align it, push it in. Okay, you know what? Let me first push it in with something, and then I'm gonna use the table. So I'm gonna push it because it's hard to align it with the right hole. Alright. Push it in. So now we have our 3. Basically, we call this a pulley. We have our 3 shafts in our 3 wheels. Now the next step, guys, is to take. We're gonna have to do some counting now. Take your pulley right here, right? The socket and the long rod. Take them. Now, what are you gonna do? This step is very, very important, guys. You're gonna count. You're gonna do some counting. you will count to the 23rd hole in this rod, and then you're gonna stick in the yellow rod, right? The yellow shaft, the small wheel. So we're gonna count from the beginning, and then the number 12's hole is gonna have the short blue one, and then the long one is gonna be at the very first hole. So we're gonna count. Let's count the 23rd hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? This is number 12. So this is the one where, so again, number 12 is right here. This is the one where we're gonna put in the blue one. So I put that in, right? And then you put a pushing to hold it in place, like that. So it's easily in place. Now that we know that this is number 12, we're gonna count more. So we counted up to here. We know that this is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3. 23 is right here. So basically we're gonna put now the yellow one, right? And then once you do that, put in the pushings. Oh, I'm sorry, you're supposed to put it in the opposite side. So keep that in here, but this one is supposed to be at the opposite side. The blue one is supposed to be in the other side. So all we do is that we put it in the other side, right here. Right? I'm gonna actually have to redo the count quickly, because I don't want to put it in a different space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it goes right here. Perfect, perfect. The reason being, guys, is because distance has to be very precise here. And then the last hole, you don't have to count nothing now. You will put the last hole with the same side that you put the yellow one. You're gonna put the green one in the last hole, the one with the long shaft. Remember? And we're gonna put a pushing to hold it in place so it doesn't fall off. And you kind of already see what is happening here, right? It's kind of coming out to be quite nice. Let me just zoom out. Right? So this is basically so far what we have to do. Next part, I just gonna take all these blocks, and what you're gonna do next is you're gonna put this aside, bring in this turnable, and count all these. You need basically all of them, right? And you're gonna put these with the turnable, and then you're gonna put these brackets with the at the end of these. So the one end will be in here, and the other end you're gonna put the brackets. Okay, let's get that started. So what we're gonna do now, so first thing, we're gonna put these in, we're gonna nail them in. So you have, make sure that you align the nails perfectly. So once you put it in, make sure that you align the nails. The side where you're gonna put these guys is the side that has this opening. The opening where it's kinda big and it's kinda rectangular. So don't put it on the side that doesn't have that. Make sure that you put these in here on the side. And you're gonna use 2 nails for each. And now we know why we have all these nails. But you're gonna put only 1 nail, guys, not 2 actually, because one is gonna go here, one is gonna go the other side. You're gonna have a hard time a bit to screw this in. Right? So now, just a matter of aligning the 2 holes that one screw is gonna go through. And you can see that it's already in. It's not that loose, to be honest with you. It's perfectly fine. And it doesn't remember, a Ferris wheel is supposed to have this little dangling in the middle. It's not supposed to be that rough. So it's not supposed, because imagine like a Ferris wheel that is rough in the turns, it will throw people off, right? So once you have that in, put this in. Sometimes the nail looks like they're not gonna go in, but it actually is going in. Once you make it go through, make sure that you're aligning the holes. Alright? I would really love for you to have your own kit and you're building it along with me. It would just make it so much fun, because at the end we finish together and we can play at the same time with them. Once I'm done with these guys, I basically take it to my son and we play together with it, and he's always trying to destroy them for some reason. This guy. Alright? He doesn't realize how much work we put into this. But I would advise you, after you build all these inventions, you basically just have a collection of them. And it's really cool that you have your own collection. Alright, you can already kind of imagine what it's gonna look like, guys. I'm gonna make sure that I put a link in the description of the video where I get all my kits, as always. I do that. One of the things, guys, if you pick to put things at the nails at this hole, always put it at the second hole of each one of them. Don't put it in the second hole and then the first hole and the next one, because it will make a weird movement when you turn on the circuit. Because you will see some weird. You don't want to make it unsynchronized. You want to make it all the movement is synchronized, so they move at a simultaneous movement. That means they basically just have the same flow of movement. Alright. For some reason I did not hold it in place when I was doing this one, so I'm gonna have to. Okay, hold it in place, hold it in place. Okay, I see where the problem is. Alright, align it, guys. Make sure that you align it. And then take this part, put it in. And screwdriver. Sometimes, guys, I forget to speak as I'm doing this because you can see how mentally involved in these projects are. But you can kind of imagine what this will look like at the end of the building it. It's kind of fantastic project, guys. Like making this, putting all these parts together, gives you a really nice feeling. Right, and this will make you kind of fall in love with science and math, and you know, because all these guys, they use scientific concepts to work. They don't just work out of nowhere. You know, gravity is basically very, very involved in this. Torque, motion, electricity, how things get powered up. It's really involved in this. So you can already tell. Only challenge is to align this with the hole. Once you have that aligned, you can just easily put it in. So now that we have this, basically, guys, the next part is to install the brackets in as well. You're gonna install the brackets at the end of the blocks. So, but what you're gonna need now is basically you're gonna need the long ones, so the long nails, and you're gonna need the bushings with them. So there is no screwing in at all now. So the next part is to basically put them in these long sides. So install the angle bracket and pushing to the first hole of the block with a pin. So the first hole of the block, the very first hole with a pin. So you're gonna put it like this, right? The very first hole that comes in with a pin. So you're gonna put one of these pins in like that, and then you're gonna just push it through like that, right? And then you're gonna put one pushing to hold it in place, and that's it. Isn't that easy, right? And you can see how it's moving freely, right? It's kind of nice, so that when the first wheel moves around, it's really making it move as well. Okay, I put this on the wrong side. You can actually play with them. You can put them in different sides. It doesn't really matter where you put them, because they will never like come along. You can see that they would never like touch each other or stop each other from moving. Just make sure that you close that with one of the pushings. Alright, you do that. You repeat this process throughout the whole thing, and for every single for all of them. Alright, we'll put this here, we'll put this here, and then we'll put a pushing. We'll put this here as well. Alright, we'll take one more, put it here, put this nail. Alright. It goes in like that easily. We take this one, take this nail, put it in. It's just a repetitive process. You don't get that often with all the experiments. Reason we got that off here because it's the Ferris wheel and all the parts are similar in the Ferris wheel, right? We do that here. You kind of already see what is happening now. I bet if you're building your own with me right now, you're not even looking at me no more because you already just know what to do now. Right, we'll push this here. We just got 2 more to go. It's just tedious work, but it pays off, I promise. That feeling you get when you turn on the power switch, it's fascinating. And the last one, finally. Finally guys, the last one. Push this in. Put this in, like that. Like that guys, you see that? Now it's kinda, you see them, how they're not really in place, right? Alright, you can see how they're not like held in place, except this guy for some reason, he's gonna turn around as well. Now the next step guys is to basically take your plate, right? The one that you had initially. Now we're gonna install the power switch, I'm gonna install the engine and the board because that's what's gonna power the whole thing for us. So I'm gonna put this aside. I'm gonna take my battery holder. I'm gonna put it at the very last hole, guys. I don't want it to take too much space in my board, right? I'm gonna put it at the very last hole. Let me just zoom in for you. I'm gonna put it here. So you have these last holes right here. You wanna put it somewhere towards. You wanna align it with the thing, with the board, and put it at the very last hole. Once you have that in place, you only need one single nail to get this nailed in and held in place. Alright, just nail it in. Once it's nailed in, it's not going anywhere no more, it's good to go. Now the next part is to basically put in the engine. So we're gonna put our engine in and we're gonna have it face towards, give me a second, you wanna have it face towards the blue. This blue right here, this blue one, and that's actually our last one. So you're gonna put it here and you're gonna have it facing toward this so that when we put our rubber bands, it will turn off the first wheel, right? That's what you wanna do. So now we're gonna put it in and you wanna make sure that the engine has these two sticking out towards outside so that you can easily connect your battery thing in. So let me just quickly nail it in. Give me a second guys, let me just nail it in. It will need 4 nails guys, by the way. Keep that in mind. If it's asking for 4 nails, don't put 2. Alright, that's just not good, because if you put your batteries in and the batteries are just too powerful or something, right? What happens is, we're gonna use AA batteries. They're like moderate. They're not too weak, they're not too strong. What happens is it will just make the engine just fly off, because the engine kind of vibrates as it's working. So we're gonna put 1 nail there, and we need to put 2 more nails here. So we're gonna put 1 nail here as well. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this off for now. Let me just quickly put this in. It's making my job easy now. You know, I need some space as I'm putting this thing in, this engine. Right? It's now kinda getting stuck in there, which is good. And that's what I meant to put 4 nails, if it's asking for 4 nails, because the engine is not really stabilized in there all the way in. Alright, kinda there. We're kinda there. We just need 1 more nail. And that's basically our last nail to put in. Let me just tighten the first one that we put in, because I did not tighten it all the way in until I got the other ones in. The reason being, I told you before, because we want to keep things easy to move around, right? As easy as possible. Because if you get one nail stuck in at a specific place, it's hard to move around the other parts. Now, you remember this one that had a grooving, guys? We're gonna now use that. This pushings, and we're gonna put it in the beginning of the engine. We're gonna stick it to the engine. Alright, and I told you before, if it has a grooving, that means it will have a rubber band with it to basically just turn it for us. So now, what you're gonna do now is basically some rubber bands connections. So you're gonna connect the rubber band from the engine to the yellow wheel. That's the first step, right? So you're gonna connect that from the rubber bands to the yellow wheel. So now we know now that when we have the engine moving, right, rotating, it will rotate this this yellow one. Now the next step, guys, is to put in this same one, but this same spacing or pushings on the other side of the blue one. Alright, so we're gonna put this on the other side. Actually, I'm sorry, on the other side of the yellow one. You know why now, right? Because we're gonna connect this yellow one with the blue one. How can we connect it? Well, that's where the second rubber bands comes in to help us out. Right, that's to give you the connection you need. So the movement is gonna go from the engine to the yellow one, from the yellow one to the blue wheel. From the blue wheel, we needed to go all the way to the final one, which is the green one, the green wheel. So now we're gonna put this in. We're gonna put it at the yellow one. I'm sorry, at the blue one, the other end. Oops. Right, got it there. And now let's connect this one with the final rubber band to our green wheel. So now we see what is happening now, guys. You turn this, this goes on. We turn this, this goes on. Isn't that cool? Alright, now the next step, guys, is to basically connect your engine, right? I mean the battery source to the engine. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna peel off the red one and the black one. I'm gonna peel them off and kinda twist them a bit, because I don't wanna have these wires flaring. Kinda just twist them a bit so that you get a nice nice ending, so that you can put it in the engine. I'm gonna put this in the engine. Alright, you can see that already. Try my best to keep you guys updated of every single move I do. Sometimes I get too involved in the project that I forget to fix the camera. Alright, I need a cameraman here. Now the next part is to put this in here. So put the black one in. Now we have connected our engine to the battery source. Right? Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Now that we have that, we still need to do what, guys? We will still need to connect our wheels, the big wheels, to the final wheel in here, the green wheel, right? So we connect that in. You can easily just push it in. Don't go too hard. It will go in, by the way. I would suggest that you put it like this. You can put it down flat, and then you can connect it. So I'm connecting this part to the middle, right? And just push in easily, guys. But remember, you're working with plastic. And once you push it in, don't go all the way, guys, because the reason is because if you go all the way and you push it all the way, it will rub against the other wheels, and you don't want that, right? So you can kind of see already what is happening here. right? So now the next part is to put in the batteries and to flip on the switch. Let me grab the batteries. You can use any types of AA battery, doesn't really matter. And put it in. Wow, isn't that amazing, guys? Alright, check this out. See how fast this is going, guys? And you can tell, right, that the first engine is connected to the first wheel. I mean, the first torque is coming through the engine to the first wheel, and that's why the first wheel is going crazy fast. And then the second wheel is what's turning the third wheel, which is making it go kind of slower, but it's also going fast, and that's connected to the final wheel, and that is going the slowest, right? And that's how actually Ferris wheels work in reality. Now imagine, guys, and we're gonna actually do it right now. Imagine the engine was connected straight to the final wheel, where people are actually rotating. Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, it's gonna make them go super fast. They might actually puke, but let's actually try it. Let's put this off for now, and let's do it, guys. Let's connect this part. Let me just take this one out, this rubber band, and let me connect from the engine straight to the final wheel. Let's see how fast that's gonna go, guys. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. Alright, let me just put the camera here, and let's do it from there. Let's connect it. Oops, this one came off. So sometimes, guys, you're gonna have to fix things here and there. It's like doing maintenance to your project. Alright, just make sure it's not flaring, because you see when it's flaring what is happening. So just make sure that you connect it back to the engine. Alright, put it there. Put it there, and then connect straight from the engine. And we're gonna skip the first wheel and the second wheel, and we're just gonna go to the final wheel where passengers, right? Isn't this cool? Let's now see how fast this will be, and lift it up for you so you see how fast it will go. Alright. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. Do you see that? Do you see this? It's like a fan, but if you actually do this, this is very dangerous. Do you see how fast this is going? Crazy fast. I'm afraid to even touch it. I want to show it to you from the back. Do you see how fast this is going, guys? Oh. This is really, really cool. I'm gonna keep it like that, to be honest with you. Alright, guys. Make sure that you like and you subscribe. And I'm gonna leave a description at the bottom where you can find these beautiful kits that we build in. I hope you get yours and we start building together. Alright, guys. See you next invention with DIY STEM.